That was kind of shocking because we were not really expecting it. And they confirmed the diagnosis of TCC. And now we are almost 2 years. She's still with us. So obviously something is doing okay. So, we discovered that Susie has TCC December 2021. And it was just a complete surprise because she had absolutely no symptoms. We took her in for checkup because she's old. Now she's almost 16 years old. When we took her to a specialist, they discovered that there was something unusual, and they suggested that we did further tests. Fortunately, we found an oncologist that was not so far away, Santa Fe. And Dr. Kelly has just been amazing because she's an holistic oncologist, so she looks at the complete picture of the dog. And in fact, she decided not to pursue the protocol because she was very concerned about the side effects of some of those medications, especially piroxicam. She decided to pursue immunotherapy through Immunocidin. For the first period, we were going up there every 3 weeks to get an injection of Immunocidin directly in the bladder, directly in the cancer. And at the same time, we started a regimen of Previcox every day. And then, of course, we completely changed diet. We start cooking for her every day. Plus, we introduce also some supplement like turkey tail, I think milk thistle to protect her liver and kidney. And now we are almost 2 years in. She's still with us. So obviously something is okay. Along the way, we also learned about the Yale vaccine, and Stephanie, my wife, decided that we need to somehow find a way of getting Susie into the study. The closer site was Phoenix, but Phoenix, especially in the initial stage, will not take people out of state. They will just serve the local community. So we could not get into Phoenix, but we were accepted in Santa Cruz, California. We decided to just go to Santa Cruz. So that required 3 trips to Santa Cruz for the 2 injections 3 weeks apart, and then a follow-up visit for the blood work. And we did that, nice long road trips with Susie. But that's okay. She does very well on the car. She just sleeps. So at a certain point also, Dr. Kelly started chemo as well. And the first time she got chemo, it was a little bit rough on her. For a couple of days, she was not feeling good, but then she went back to her normal self. And the following chemo did not give her any problems. She got a little bit sleepy just immediately after. The only situation where we really got very scared was she had a UTI at a certain point, and Dr. Kelly prescribed an antibiotic. We got very scared, so we stopped everything for a week. Now we're a little bit worried because it seems that the symptoms are getting a little bit worse. She's peeing much more than usual. So tomorrow I have an appointment with Dr. Kelly. We'll follow up. Every time we go to Dr. Kelly, she does x-rays and ultrasounds. I think there has been a small growth, but nothing that Dr. Kelly made her very worried. And is still away from pipes. So she's still peeing regularly, more often than usual. And everything else is okay. She's always very hungry. She's an extremely food-driven dog. Every morning when I prepare her food, I take her out from the fridge. I put her in the microwave to warm it up a little bit. She barks at the microwave until the food comes out. That does not change at all. She's an interesting dog. And we are a little bit obsessed with her. We're not doing injections. We're doing oral administration of Immunocidin. We're doing it once a month. Not for a long time, because when Dr. Kelly started chemo, she switched to the oral administration of Immunocidins instead of the IV. Before it was IV Immunocidin. We have a little statue of Susie. She's a mutt. She's about 25 pounds. I think at a certain point, Stephanie did a blood work on her to figure out what was her DNA. She's a Boston Terrier and Brittany Spaniel mix with a little bit of pug. So it's a strange combination. We found her on the street. Somebody just dumped the little puppy on the street. And it's been amazing. So we got her. She was a puppy, and she's almost 16 years old in December. So we realized that we are on borrowed time at this point. Use cancer, there's no cure. And as long as she seems to be not in pain, we're going to continue taking care of her. We try to change our life. We realized that she has bladder problems. We try to, during the day, take turns who goes home a little bit earlier to let her out, making sure that she's comfortable. But, she's old as well. So, of course, she has all the other effects of being old. Like, her back legs have been a problem for quite some time. And she has a little bit of a back problem as well. She's moving much slower than she used to. She used to be a crazy fast dog. She's moving much slower. And we have adapted the house a little bit so that she has pillows to kind of climb to the bed. She's a great dog. She's very, very smart. Of course. course. Yes. So when she was younger, she would actually come to bed and demand to go under the cover. Now she just sleeps at the bottom of the bed. And we do have another dog, Bob, and now Bob is the one that sleeps in the middle. There is no way out. There's another dog that has TCC because once I was there for our regular appointment, and she asked me to introduce Susie to the other dog. It was just starting the therapy, and it was, I think it was a Frenchie with TCC, and she was starting him on Immunocidin as well. We use Immunocidin for other type of cancer as well. She seems to be having a lot of success. The last time I was there was this lady with this beautiful bulldog, and she was telling me that the dog went into complete remission, and Immunocidin was the only thing that the dog received, nothing else, and the dog looks great. In the first rounds of Immunocidin, she will be receiving Immunocidin in the bladder through an injection, and she would not be sedated. She would just get an injection very quickly. Then for a while, she was getting it through IV. We were a little bit concerned about the injection in the bladder because of the risk of possibly spreading the cancer. Dr. Kelly had never expressed that concern. It didn't seem to happen, which is good. But at a certain point, she did switch to IV. Again, no sedation. And then, of course, we started with chemo. Even for chemo, I think she got a light sedation. Well, the Immunocidin itself, I don't think is very expensive. I think when I get the one to take home is about $200 for the vial. And that lasts for several injections. The expensive part is everything else. Every time we go there, even for the chemo treatment, there is X-rays, ultrasounds, and the visits and the medication. So that gets pricey. Thank God for insurance. So Susie has always been an at-risk dog because she is very curious and she tends to get in trouble very easily. So we had several incidents, and I think that paid off several times. We took Susie to an oncologist in Phoenix for kind of second opinion. That oncologist was suggesting radiation treatment. Given the position of the cancer, it's going to create a lot of damage on the belly area. It's too harsh. So I feel fortunate that once again that we had our pet insurance, because without that, I don't think we would have been able to do everything we have done. Every visit is very expensive. And now that we have learned a lot of lessons through Susie, I think we can also hopefully do better for Bob. We're asking ourselves, how did we get here? Why? What caused it? Because, we read a lot, for example, pesticides as one of the things that may trigger. We did have people doing regular pesticide in our house. Obviously, that has stopped now. That's scary.